This is the Dallas Cowboys Report by Chat Sports. I am Tom Downey, and there's some major NFL news that does still kind of sort of impact the Dallas Cowboys. Bobby Wagner's picked his destination, and no, it is not with the Cowboys or even with the Ravens. He is signing with the Los Angeles Rams on a reported 5-year, $50 million deal, up to $65 million. The guaranteed money, not yet known at this point, although it might be a little bit less than that when the actual numbers end up coming in. So be honest with me right now in the comment section. Would you have paid Bobby Wagner that contract? 5 years, $50 million. Type in S for yes, you would have. You would have signed him to it. Or type P for nah, you would have passed. Let me know and be honest with me in the comments right now. Let's talk rumors then for the Cowboys. How about Derek Stingely to Dallas? I'll give it 1 star, as we'll get into why more momentarily. But Mike Tannenbaum, the disaster of a GM who now works for ESPN, mocked Stingley to the Cowboys at number 24 overall. Now, Stingley entering this year was very much the clear-cut number 1 corner in this year's class. But his 2021 was too similar to his 2020 and not enough like his 2019. He has missed a ton of time the past 2 years. There are questions about, is he an alpha? Is he healthy? Medical matters a lot there. And was he hurt, or did he just kind of, we were bad, didn't want to play anymore? Those are all real concerns NFL teams have. Here's what Tannenbaum wrote on the why he mocked Stingley to Dallas. Imagine Trayvon Diggs and Stingley covering up opposing receivers. There is incredible potential there. Stingley is an intriguing yet confusing prospect. At his best, he's one of the top 3 or 4 players in the entire class. But his injury history and uneven play create a lot of risks. At number 24 overall, Dallas could get a steal if he plays anywhere near his ceiling. Stingley, at his best, is the best prospect in this year's class. His coverage stats in 2019 as a freshman in the SEC were incredible. He was so good, if the years were reversed, if he was on the upward arc instead of downward arc, we'd be talking about him being a top 3 lock. I would doubt he would be able to get past the Houston Texans at that point. Stingley, from a pure talent perspective, should not be on the board. Frankly, in the end, I don't think he ends up on the board anyway. And you know what? If he is on the board, does that actually make you more concerned? Because Stingley should not fall to 24. If he does, that makes you, in the back of your mind, go, you know what? Maybe there's something even worse about the medical than what we thought. Maybe there's something even more troubling personality-wise than some of the things that have been said about Stingley. So if he does fall, it actually might be a bigger red flag than where we sit right now. So who do you want the Cowboys to draft in round 1? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know who you want the Cowboys to draft at number 24 overall. Let's talk Gallup now, then we'll come back to some more draft talk, but receiver is important for that next part. Is he not going to be ready for week 1? I'm going to give it 3 stars. The back by training camp always seemed like propaganda from his camp. Never really bought that one. And now Stephen Jones, Jerry Jones, said something similar here. Says that Gallup might miss a few weeks to start the regular season. The Cowboys are not going to rush Gallup back from injury. Why would they? This was a longer-term move by the organization when they signed Gallup to that 5-year deal with outs after 2 years if they needed to, if he doesn't come back all the way. So they want to protect their investment. Long-term is how this team always views things, much to many people's chagrin, distrust, anger, etc. But if Gallup does miss time week 1, this receiving core is not in great shape, folks. That leaves CeeDee Lamb and James Washington and maybe Simi Fehoko. Maybe you believe in the breakout years from Fehoko and Vasher with like 7 career snaps combined as a 5th-round pick in a UDFA. Cool. Probably not an assumption you want to make. You're happy if that ends up being the case, of course. So you need help at wide receiver, especially since Washington is being paid the vet minimum. His contract is not indicative of someone the team is banking on being a key part of the receiving core. It is a hey, if we're lucky, he's our 3. If not, he can be our 4 or our 5. So you're hoping for eventually 2019 Gallup to return, which 2020, quarterback was hurt. 2021, he was hurt. So I think Gallup will be back. I think he'll be a good player for you. I just don't know if it's going to be in week 1. So what do you think? What week will Gallup make his return? Is it week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever? Let me know in the comments section. The Cowboys Report is also on Rumble. We do Cowboys Report after hours roughly every other week or so on that channel. Plus, when I drop F-bombs, I don't get censored. We are still trailing, however, our Giants channel. And I would very much like to catch them today, because I'm tired of Marshall Green lording it over me because he's got nothing good to talk about his actual team for. So go follow us, rumble.com/CowboysTV. Now we'll come back to draft and receiver. How about taking Jameson Williams? I kind of want to speak this into existence a little bit, so I'll give it 2 stars. Now, I do think the team would be worried about taking 2 receivers coming off ACL tears or having 2 receivers coming off ACL tears, but he's good at the whole football thing, so yeah, I would like to get him. Sports Illustrated, actually a guy I've known for a long time, Jeremy Brenner, explored Williams as a draft target. And look, I don't know if Jameson's good to go week 1. We'll see on the timing there. But he would bring something this team doesn't really have in the same level of what Jameson Williams is currently able to do. That is that true speed element. James Washington's a vertical threat. He ran a 4.54. Williams, had he been healthy and had he been, at that peak level that he would have ran at the faster track at Indy, I think he might have set the record for fastest 40-yard dash time this year. Here's what SI wrote, and I got thoughts on this. Williams will likely fall to the early second round, but the Cowboys have the 24th pick, too high, 56 too low. If the Cowboys wanted to get Williams at the right value, it could be in a trade-up or trade-down scenario. I actually don't think that's the case. In fact, as a gambling man, I think Jameson's gone by pick number 24. That's why I almost gave it 1 star instead of 2. I think that, and I know, and this is from Dane Brugler, who I trust completely when it comes to draft stuff, multiple teams have James Williams as their number 1 receiver in this year's class. I would be surprised if he fell to pick number 24, because look at his numbers. That's a home run threat, man. And had it not been for the ACL tear, we would have been talking about Jameson Williams as a top 10 pick, if not a top 10 lock. So I have a very tough time seeing him get all the way down to 24, given the pure level of talent that we're dealing with here. I do think, by the way, there is a chance the Cowboys take a receiver in round 1. What do you guys think? Would you like that move or no? There is, of course, the logical disconnect of saying, yes, we will trade away Amari Cooper and then immediately drafting a receiver in round 1. Welcome to the Jones era. Would you do it, though? Why for yes and for no? Now, if you want daily videos on the Cowboys, you guys have come to the right spot. Subscribe on YouTube. That's probably where you're watching this video right now. It's youtube.com/CowboysTV. So if you haven't already, hit that big red button and join us for daily videos to get to 130 as we move closer and closer to doubling up the alleged tax evading, cheating Commanders. That's the claim out there. 2 books. We don't do that here. Hit that big red button and subscribe. One last story here. Could Brent Urban be making his way back to the Dallas Cowboys? I'll give this 2 stars. Kind of buried in a rather lengthy and good Todd Archer article from today was that Brent Urban could return to the Cowboys, unlike, say, Keanu Neal and Maurice Kennedy. Now, Urban missed most of last year with injury. I was very excited about his addition because he offers the run stopping that I wanted at defensive tackle. Ended up being part of because of injury. Carlos Watkins served that role pretty well. So Urban, I think, could end up returning to Dallas, most likely as a post-draft re-signing, depending on how the draft process goes. If they spend a top 100 pick, probably not. If they don't draft anybody, maybe. The recovery from injury also still a big factor in if and when Urban ends up re-signing with the Cowboys, because they've got bodies right now on the defensive line. You've got former top 75. I think it was also top 75. Oso was close there. And Neville Gallimore, Odigizua, and Tristan Hill, top 75 picks. Carlos Watkins, Quinton Bohanna. So that's what you had last year. So if you had to, you could roll it back and hope for growth. Doesn't mean you have to do that, however.